Welcome, Gemini, to your November 2020 reading. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. If this is the first time you've tuned in, I offer free mini readings for all new subscribers. So if you've got a question about this particular reading or something that this reading doesn't cover for you, just click the subscribe button and ask your question in the comments below. Or if you'd like to keep it out of the public forum, just email me and I will be happy to answer you in private via email as well. Now, let's get into your November reading. Now, you've got a quite intensive looking month coming up for you with a lot of people in your life involved as well. There's a lot of energy and movement, fast movement in your life in November. But you start out with a bit of a shake-up in your month, and it's almost like saying that when you've got the Tower card, when the Tower card shows up in people's life, it's a change in the status quo. Something's being shaken up, and it's something that could be happening quite quickly to you as well. But it's trying to tell you to break out of old, outdated, confining boundaries. And I feel like in November, that's what's actually going to be happening. And you are really, it's almost like if you're aware of the situation, it makes things a lot easier. And you could be the one that's kind of shaking this stuff up for yourself. But sometimes if we're not aware of the situation that we've been traveling down in, it's almost like there is a guiding force, I guess, in our lives. And it kind of brings about change that can be a little bit upsetting at the time, but is going to be something that is so great for you. And you know, it's almost like a situation's going to happen in your life that it brings an awareness about something that you can't deny any longer. And this can sometimes talk about your car breaking down, and it breaks down on the side of the road, and it's right in front of a particular place, that a shop or something, that you were looking for something in that shop. So it's like something negative happened, but something positive happened as well. So this could be an event like that for you. That was just an example. I'm not saying your car's going to break down or anything like that, but it's something that happens that might seem a little negative on the surface, but it's actually something that is going to be very, very beneficial. And it can also talk about an amazing revelation that helps you understand where you are in life versus where you kind of would like to be. It's an epiphany almost. And it's something that's going to allow some freedom, and it's going to allow you to see things clearly. And for some of you, this is going to be seeing things clearly for the first time in your life, maybe. It's kind of that significant, I'm feeling. Now, you've got the Knight of Swords there, and knights talk about quite fast movement, fast action, things happening quickly in your life. Now, this could literally mean travel for some of you, but I'm feeling like you are going to be moving away from a quite difficult situation, and you're just going to be turning your back on things that weren't for your highest good. and you're kind of just looking behind you, and it's not like you can leave the past behind and cut it off. But I'm feeling like you're leaving a lot of that negative stuff that held you down behind you, and you are now moving to a lot more calmer shores, because I do kind of see a little bit of conflict perhaps coming up for you in November. Now, as I said, there are several people that are showing themselves in your reading. Now, this Knight of Swords can represent an air sign, and that is a Gemini like you, or a Libra, or an Aquarian. So you might be having, you might be leaving this person behind. This person could be the one that is creating this tower moment for you, and bringing in some fast, swift messages, and cutting you free and allowing you to move ahead to calmer, better waters. Now, the Knight in itself, just as the meaning of the card itself, is, as I mentioned, fast-moving energy. Your life might be seeming like it's going nowhere, or it's moving very slowly. But when the Knight shows up, it's like stepping into a whirlwind. And Knights, they take action, and they speak of taking. The Knight is, swords are ideas and thoughts. So they are. You're even thinking quickly, trying to think through some solutions quickly. And taking actions on stuff like that. This time in your life, I'm feeling like it's not a time to be making emotional choices for yourself. You really need to use your mind, your intellect, and think of solutions, and think of them logically, not emotionally. And because there is such swift moving energy with the Knight of Swords, it can be difficult to think through your choices before acting, but it's really important that you do it. Just think out all of the alternatives fully, and consider what it is you want out of a particular situation, before you get too far down the road. You know what I mean? Think things through clearly. That's a pretty significant message for you Geminis. Now, you have another significant person here. This is the King of Coins, or the King of Pentacles. This is an earth sign, so that is Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. Now, this card in itself talks about incredible prosperity and success. And when this card comes out in a spread, it really talks about how your plans are going to work out really well, like exceptionally well. And it's almost like, in terms of your finances, it's almost like money seems to fall from the sky. You've got a lot of abundance around you. But it's your hard work that's actually brought this abundance to you. And, whenever you see the King of Pentacles come up in a spread, it can be talking about a promotion, or an upcoming raise, or some sort of lucrative event that is happening in your work or your business. It's a very great money card, and it's almost like it's saying accept opportunities that come your way, even if at first glance they don't seem to be that great, or you might think, oh, I'm going to turn this down. But it's actually a message. If this resonates with you, this is a general reading. So if you are getting faced with an opportunity that you think you're going to turn down, don't, because it's going to turn out really well for you. And that's just a lot of great energy there for you coming through. Now, as I mentioned, this is an earth sign, so this can be, this is someone who's a very good business person. They're very good with money. They're a bit of a workaholic. And this, whenever we see court cards, they can represent people, or they can also represent the person that we should be aspiring to become. Or it can even represent how you are going to be behaving in November. So there are sort of multi-layered messages again coming through. So I do feel like this can be someone that you are going to be taking on these qualities in November, or you certainly want to aspire to do that. Now, there is, as I mentioned at the beginning of your reading, there is a little bit of conflict I see for you. And it could be, now this could be to do with in your work environment, and it can also have something to do with a fire sign. So that is an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarian. So, it could be with this person, and it might be sorry, I'm just trying to get some clarity on this one here. So the conflict may be with others, or with trying to choose like an issue that's requiring your attention first. It kind of like, it could be a sort of internal conflict as well, but there can be challenges. They can be challenges coming from the outside. So this can be a conflict that you are having with someone, but it's almost like this card is saying that it's something that we've kind of attracted to ourselves, if that makes any sense. With the law of attraction, with our thoughts, with our ideas, we have outmoded ideas about certain things, and this can also be creating some conflict as well. Now, it's like you are you've got some unresolved issues, and you've internalized those, and when the Five of Wands comes up for you, it's a good idea to review the possibility that the real difficulty you're facing is coming within. Now, sometimes that can be hard to hear. And also, another really interesting thing about your spread was you got a reverse card. Now, ordinarily, I don't read reverse cards. Now, this happened for another sign this month, and they also actually happened to be an air sign. It was for Aquarius. Now, I go through the deck and I put all the cards up the right way before I do a reading, because I believe that every single card in the tarot relates to a specific situation, and that can be negative or positive. So I feel like you don't actually need to read the negative, because there are cards there that will describe exactly this. But when it comes to reverse in terms of a cup, in terms of a court card, I'm feeling like this is describing somebody. And so I'm going to read out of the book that belongs to this deck. And this deck is called Egorov Tarot. And it's a gold edition, this deck is. Gold edition Egorov Tarot. And it's quite old in terms of tarot cards. It's 30 years old. And so it's pretty blunt in its description, but I'm going to read out what the Knight of Cups means in this book. And it's describing a person. So And also, because this is an old deck and the gentleman that wrote it, I feel like was from an older generation back then when he wrote it, he's referring to a man. But when I read out a man, please, this is not gender specific. This is just the way he, you know how things were in the past. You know, it was all about the man and women weren't considered. But I'm going to read it out, but it's not gender specific in my reading. So this describes someone. So a man who cannot be relied upon, often dishonest, sensual, and apt to idleness, may mean deception and fraud. So I'm feeling like there could potentially be someone in your life in November that is like this. And if you don't recognize someone, now, you know, this can be one of these people that are showing up in your reading. So this can be that Knight of Swords, it can be the King of Wands, or it can be the King of Coins. And you've also got Strength there, and Strength is the card of a Leo. So this Knight of Wands, a fire sign, could be a Leo if you've got a Leo in your life. But as I mentioned with the King of Coins, this could also be us. Whenever we get a court card, it can describe someone, it can describe who we want, someone we want to aspire to, or it could be describing how we are behaving as well. So just be careful if you have a water sign around you. And, you know, I always say it's not about the star sign, it's about the character of the person. So someone who is normally quite artistic, quite loving, quite skillful, you know, and quite a little bit passionate. This could be someone that may be, you know, having a bit of deception, deceiving you in some way, or perhaps frauding you in some way. So just be careful of that. But also be careful if you are being one of these people, if you are being someone that can't be relied on and you're often dishonest, this could be what is also causing this conflict in your life in November. But this is a general reading, so please don't shoot the messenger. If this doesn't resonate with you, you just let that go, because that message is not for you. But I just wanted to read it out because it was reverse, and I felt like it was very significant. It felt very significant, and it felt like it needed to be read as a reverse card. Now, the Knight, I'm going to read it also as I normally would in the upright position, because general reading. So let me just read out what the Knight of Cups is talking about. And as I said, this Knights, just like the Knight of Swords, Knights are movement. So the Knight of Cups is really an indicator that there's going to be some movement emotionally for you. So there's going to be a powerful emotional experience, and it's almost like you're being swept off your feet. Now, because this is a cup, like cups, it often talks about falling in love or offers of marriage or any other sort of romantic experience that's causing you to swoon a little bit. And it might even throw you off balance a little bit. And so don't forget to sort of stay quite grounded. And this card can also talk about nice invitations to parties and things like that you know you've got friends and lots of loved ones going to. But also just some more messages as I was reading that this person that is a bit of a deceiver and a bit of a fraud, they could be coming into your life, or they could have already shown up in your life, and you are getting that truth coming through for you, that tower moment. And this is what you will be turning your back on and moving away from. You're really going to be just going to something wonderful. You know, you have the Strength card there, and the Strength card is that card of really being able to have the will and inner strength to achieve what it is you need to achieve, whether that be emotional stuff, really overcoming any emotional difficulties. But it's a card where you kind of can exercise your strength to get what it is that you want in a way that no one's going to be harmed. It's not like a malicious, controlling type of energy that perhaps some might find in the devil card or that kind of thing. But it is really just that inner strength that we can draw on. And it's almost like you can really go with inside in November and find that all of those instincts, those wild, intense instincts, you're able to tame them and harness them. And by doing that, you become stronger. So, if you were finding when I was reading that, the Knight of Cups reversed, that, this could be a path that you are going down, you are really going to be able to go in and become and fight that kind of behavior and recognize that in yourself and become a stronger, better person. Now, the Strength card also, if you're going to be having conflict with some people in your life in November, the Strength card definitely asks you to let go of any judgment of yourself as well as other people, and view other people around you with tolerance and forgiveness. Sort of take the higher road in any conflict. I just feel like it's going to be better for you to be able to release and look at your final card, letting go. But I'm feeling like this is also a message that is coming through for you in the Strength card, where it's by being able to be the bigger person or the better person and have tolerance and forgiveness in your heart, you are actually really going to be able to have, it's going to benefit you a lot more than continuing to perhaps battle. And I'm feeling like this can also be like an old battle, or a battle that's been happening with a person that's been in your life for a while. Sort of a significant person that has been, that has been sort of challenging. Perhaps there have been challenging times for you in the past as well with this person. But let's get into your final card. So that is letting go, as I just said. And the mantra for this card is, I surrender joyously to the ebbing and flowing of life. So surrender, relinquish control, and allow spirit to take over. You don't need to do everything by yourself. All is well. It's time to just let it all go and enjoy the ride. Doing so gives others permission to let go in their own lives. The universe wants you to know there are times to hold on for dear life and times to simply throw up your hands and let go. It's time to release any limiting patterns, emotional attachments, or inner and outer clutter. Surrendering doesn't mean that you're yielding to a force outside of yourself. It means that you're allowing your soul to take over. Release the stress of needing to control things, wanting to determine the outcome of a situation, or expecting others to act in a particular way. There is a simple grace and beauty that unfolds when you truly let go. Loving spiritual help is all around you. Simply open your heart and let it in. What a beautiful, beautiful message that is. And I really am feeling like, in a way, this is kind of connected with that Six of Swords as well, where you having this tower moment in November, and things are going to be shifting quite quickly for you. And you are actually at that stage where you can say, no, you know what? I'm going to jump in my boat and I am going to sail the seven seas away from that turmoil and have a wonderful, abundant, successful life ahead of me. And I feel like November is very significant for you to be starting to put some of those changes into place in your life. So I hope that resonated with you, Gemini. Just leave comments. Let me know how I went. If it was totally terrible and you didn't resonate with you at all, check out your rising sign and your other signs as well, because there could be messages there for you. If you're into crystal jewelry, check out my website at kazana.com.au. There's beautiful one-off only pieces. They're all handmade in Australia by an Australian designer, so check those out as well if you're into crystal jewelry, and all of the meanings of the crystals are also in that website. So have a wonderful November, Geminis. Bye. Love you guys.